Hey, how you doing, guys? It's a new week, and I've got a very interesting topic, and I mean very interesting topic coming up. Um, First, before I get to that, a couple of things. I've been noticing, well, some other people as well, that I look kind of tired when I'm doing my videos lately, and it's true. It's not because I'm not excited about what I'm doing or the topics or anything like that. Um, It's just I've been working more. Had one of the managers on medical leave, so I actually have to do double shifts, and I have the baby in home, and so it's not nothing that I'm not excited about. About anything. I am. It's just that that's what's really causing that. Hopefully, once the other person comes back, I'll be working regular hours, and I won't be as tired. Um, Now, to me, this is probably the most important tech news story up until now this year. Um, I mean, yeah, we have Intel CPUs coming out, GPUs. That happens like every year or two, which is always a given. But this has to do with Intel's actually going to implement Thunderbolt 3 inside their CPU chips. But before I get to that, I kind of want to cover one thing that I've been seeing that kind of sets it up for the news story as well. Has to do with Thunderbolt itself and consumer versus professional use, because I'm still seeing this. Many people think that Thunderbolt is a dead protocol, a dead standard. It's not widely adopted and it's too expensive. So I'm going to kind of talk about that and the reasons behind this. And no, Thunderbolt 3 isn't widely adopted because its peripherals tend to be very expensive because they are targeted to pro use. Average consumers simply don't need that, so they're not likely to buy Thunderbolt devices. Now, adoption rate is only one way where companies can make money. Now, obviously, if a standard is widely adopted, that means companies make a lot of money. That's only one way to do it. And then that tends to be for cheaper devices that run off these widely adopted standards like USB, because of course, mouses, keyboards, and even if they need faster speeds, you have USB 3.0 and 3.1, and whatever's next. Now, professionals are totally different. They are willing to pay the high price of Thunderbolt and Thunderbolt devices to get the fastest speeds available. And for certain niche professions such as video production, audio production, and 3D animation. Now, that's entirely different reason. So they don't need a high adoption rate because they're going to be tending to paying higher prices anyway. So this too expensive, not widely adopted, dead protocol thing is simply not true in my opinion. And they even go, it's kind of went the way of Firewire, and Thunderbolt was actually, in my perspective, meant to replace Firewire. Thunderbolt was meant to replace Firewire. And even before then, it went from Firewire, Firewire 400, and then Firewire 800 to increase the speed. And then we had Thunderbolt, so obviously it's a faster, better protocol or better standard, so then obviously Thunderbolt went away. Okay, now that we clear that perception up, get to the most important news story. Like I said, I think up until now this year, Intel announces they will be putting Thunderbolt chips inside Intel CPU processors. Now, maybe not every CPU line, but probably like the i5, i7s, or what have you. More than likely, they're going to put it in those type of Intel chips. Got to drink my coffee. I just woke up this morning. Not only that, it's going to be royalty and license free. So they're not going to have to pay to implement this Thunderbolt 3. And the most important question is, why are they doing this? And the main answer I probably have to say on this is they're doing this to make Intel processors more relevant. Okay, so I'm going to explain that so hopefully you'll understand. Now, in this case, to make this work, especially in the PC side of things, now Apple pretty much adopted Thunderbolt and Thunderbolt 3 widely in most of their computers and other devices, and they're starting even now to use USB-C. So yes, to be able to make this work on the PC side, they're going to have a high adoption rate to be able to get this to work. Now, it's going to be much cheaper for manufacturers to implement this because, for one thing, it's already going to be inside the CPU. Sure, they may have to put it in the chipset, firmware, or something like that, and they're going to be able to do it without paying any license. So that's going to help with the wide adoption rate. Now, all this kind of goes down to they're going to implement this through USB-C, this Thunderbolt 3. Now, I'm not saying the average user is probably not going to go out and buy Thunderbolt 3 devices that are meant for professionals. No. But what you got to think about Thunderbolt 3 through USB-C is it carries almost every protocol the average consumer is going to use. This includes HDMI, MHL, DisplayPort, USB 2.0, 3.0, 3.1, and possibly even DVI. And there's probably several more things in there as well. So that's going to mean they're going to be able to reduce the amount of different ports that you're going to need. Hopefully they're going to put like maybe 6 USB-C ports in there. Smaller ports as well, so you can put this on smaller devices, because I mean, I don't know if you remember the VGA ports in the little netbooks. They actually take up a lot of space, obviously. And like I said, the main reason Intel is doing this is because once it gets widely adopted by manufacturers, guess what? You're going to need an Intel CPU to be able to use this Thunderbolt 3 and USB-C through using Thunderbolt 3. So Intel's still going to make their money, even though they're putting them inside their chips, license free. It still doesn't matter because you have to have an Intel CPU to make it work. So, but to me, it makes it very exciting because it puts out a lot of possibilities in the PC computer side, not just Apple. So give me your thoughts of Intel putting Thunderbolt 3 inside their CPUs and the USB-C standard. I'm kind of interested to hear what you guys think of that. But besides that, thank you, and hope to see you for the next tech topic.